Mr. Witness, may kindly take your seat. Mr. Witness, for continuation of your testimony before this Commission of Inquiry into Local Government Councils and related matters, I want to remind you once again that you are still under oath before I hand you over to Madam Chair for us to proceed. Thank you. Madam Chair, over to you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Batchilly. You are welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, and to you may proceed.
Yes, Mr. Bachir, just to conclude on this issue, as we allow you time to bring the documents you have asked and the information there. The issue with respect to the finance director's allegations in with respect to the invoices that were sent by Makumbasane and the trade license manager, Cameron now. You were trying to explain this matter. When you received the letter, did you respond to it?
I will have to check my correspondences to see. But in the meantime, I have certain invoices to show and receipts with respect to collections that were made during the early part of January. Because as you have said in your statement,
Yes.
that Modu Kamala said that the executive council advisor host or the license manager were the signatories to these invoices. But I think that was misleading information, because if you look at the invoices that I have here, they were signed by Mudu Kamala himself. So the issue of the illegality of the license manager or Makuma Sane issuing invoices, I
No, the
think.
ones we have were not signed by the finance director.
Okay, I have.
They're signed by the chief executive. The ones I showed you.
Yeah, but
Yes.
I have these ones to show you, if you don't mind.
Yeah, let me see.
And also a memo from the acting director of admin
Yes.
with regards to the decision of the management relating to the collection of revenue.
Yes, and also the minutes you mentioned having minutes of meeting.
Yes, I have minutes.
May I have all those documents?
The minutes I'll have to bring them later on because I think I took the wrong ones.
That's fine. Actually, let's have the ones documents you
I
are.
certainly have them.
That
And then this other one was relating to the statement he made with regards to the payment of the QCell group in Banjo.
payment
That
of
the payment of license for QCell in Banjo.
for QCell.
Yeah,
Yes.
QCell. Like the explanation to the commission was that he raised the level from 500,000 to 1 million.
Yes.
But then that was wrong because before he came in 2019, they collected 1.1 million too. So when it was time for them to make the other payment for the following year, according to Mohammed Chan, when I further inquired about why they paid less, was the fact that Mr. Jah came to the council and then the former director, former deputy CEO, Fatuta, went to Mr. Jam's office and instructed Mr. Jam to reduce the payment to 500,000. And then when Mod Kamara came subsequently, they started paying again 1.5, 1.1 million.
But you were there. Anyways, let's
Yeah,
let's admit it first.
yeah.
You were there in council. Can the deputy CEO do that?
Well, she had no right to do it.
But how comes you were not aware?
No, I was not then in council.
You were not.
I had traveled.
You traveled.
Yeah.
We apply tender uh, a memo. Together with 4 photocopy of vouchers or invoices sent to Laura's Food. And the memo is from the acting director of admin to all revenue heads and cashiers. And a list from January to September 2019 with respect to um, invoices issued and amounts due for QCell. And a member from the director from the Director of Finance to the Chief Executive Officer with the topic request for engagement of consultancy for revenue generation and collection to be admitted and marked as exhibit.
A memo dated the 15th of July 2022, it is addressed to the CEO. It emanated from the Director of Finance, and it has the subject request for re-engagement of consultancy for revenue generation and collection. It is copied to the Mayor, Chairman, Finance Committee, and the file copy is maintained. A memo dated the 12th of January 2024, it is from the Acting Director of Admin addressed to all revenue heads and cashiers. And it has the subject directives from the Office of the CEO as agreed by the management of BCC. It is copied to the Lord Mayor, Acting Director of Admin, Director of Finance, Director of Audit, Finance Manager, Chairman Establishment, Chairman Finance Committee, Chairman Local Government Service Commission, PS, Ministry of Lands, Council Advisor, BCC, and a file copy is maintained. 4 invoices addressed to Laura's Food Company. And the final document is particulars of invoice dated from 17th of January 2019 to 18th of September 2019. Sorry, that is, let me take that again. It's invoice list covering the period 17 June 2019 to 18 September 2019. And this, the particulars are, this is addressed to QCell, and it identified the amount of monies that are due and payable. These documents are admitted together as exhibit in evidence, and they are marked as LVC/BCC/MB/003.
As the commission please. Now, Mr. Batchilly, the issue here is the Director of Finance, Mamadou Kamal. He brought SAP Enterprise, correct?
Yeah.
For the Court of Revenue. And you guys took it to council and convinced council, and then they passed the resolution.
Yeah.
To start with, that is not the process, correct?
Yeah.
Council is not the contracts committee.
Yeah.
There should be a contracts committee.
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to. That's the original route it should take.
Mm-hmm.
You agree with that?
Yeah, sure.
Good. So it violated the GPPA regulation because it did not meet up with the requirements, and now there was a breach there, but SARS were given contract. And then there's also a conflict of interest because the Director of Finance knows SARS enterprise. So in the first line, you should even have discouraged even taking the matter to the General Counsel and follow the usual procurement process. You agree?
Yeah.
Good. And now things seem to backfire because you feel or you have information that SAPs were collecting revenue from your revenue lines. They were not coming up with new revenue lines that probably were not discoverable by council. And so you feel, well, this is a duplication. There's no need for us to pay SAPs this much if what they are doing is exactly what we are doing, correct?
Yeah.
And so we told that to the Director of Finance. The same thing that we had said to the Director of Finance that there is no new ingenuity in relation to the discovery of new revenue lines, and therefore you're paying SAPs money that they don't deserve. You agree with that?
Yeah, because like I said, getting towards there are some payments that they brought in.
Yes.
Those I would have to attest were not the ones that we are receiving previously.
Yes.
So it's like a combination.
Yes. But it's not a new revenue line that they discovered. It's as a result of perhaps the inefficient manner in which the finance department was
Yes, yes, yes.
So now that you are not pleased, and therefore the finance director still remains to be the finance director. He has the certain powers as per the manual in the accounting system. Do you not think it is not proper to just rob the finance director or remove him from certain powers just because he did not do but he had to do, or you're not happy with him in one way or the other, because you cannot now request for all these documents and then assign Makumbasana and Pamurundao to go ahead, because he has to manage. The finance director must manage and supervise the revenues of council. That is his job. You could have queried him. You could have raised disciplinary issues if he is not effective.
My understanding of removing, because it's not that he was being removed, because by the end of the day, as director of finance, obviously his role was not to go physically and do the revenue
Right,
collection. So, in a sense,
right.
he still had the supervisory role over them.
No, he does not, because if he did not sanction the job they were doing, he cannot supervise that.
You can, I don't understand if he
If he
does
did
something.
not initiate and give authority for the people under him in the finance department
Yeah.
to execute a function, he cannot supervise them.
No, like I said, the job that was being done well before, and there were no problems.
No, but there are problems when someone says that there's a problem that his job is being there's interference in his job. That is the issue. If there is no problem, it's because there's no complaint.
No, I do not agree with that interference.
Let me read to you. No, you don't have to agree. Let me read to you that his functions. It says the Director of Finance is the head and finance of the finance department of the country and shall be responsible for the following: overall coordination and control of the accounting function of council, supervision of accounting staff, production of annual financial statement, interpretation, analysis of accounts, and the list goes on. It says that he will be specifically answerable to you in the execution of those duties, to the general supervision of the accounting functions, the proper collection, recording, and custody of all revenues of council. That is his job. So the law has you as the overall accounting officer, but the law would not give you all the powers. It's dangerous, right? It's dangerous for you, the CEO, to be the be all and the end all of every dollar and how it is collected and managed. So it says XYZ will have these functions to provide checks and balance and limitations to your powers as CEO or any CEO. Do you understand that? So you don't have those powers if the finance director don't do a job, or you don't think it is correct that the management is being executed. There are disciplinary measures to follow, but not to give all instructions that someone else can do it. You don't have those powers.
Okay, if you say I don't have no such powers, okay, that's one thing. But then the other thing is, I have seen practically a breakdown in some of the functions that you have just mentioned.
Write it down.
Because, for example, immediately after we terminated our contract
Right.
with Sabel, all right, I was thinking that the reasons that we advance
Yes.
for the departure from the contractual obligations
Right.
were obvious.
My point is write it down.
Were obvious. And then secondly,
Right.
if I write it down, okay, that was very important to have been done, to write it down.
Correspondence. Right.
But
It's finance director. You wrote to the finance director during the project when the finance director wouldn't sign checks. Right.
so,
But you don't have the powers to say, well, I'm now taking this off.
no, I'm trying to explain that in the actual sense, I have taken nothing away from him.
No, you have.
In the sense
The
that
invoices are not within your domain. These are in the finance department. It's as if you are raising invoice. You don't have the power to raise, let's say, vouchers. You vet them. The law gives you the power to make sure that the payment that is being raised are in line with budgetary procedures, and that's it. And then in line with normal procurement process. But you don't raise vouchers. Do you understand? I'm just giving an example.
yeah, I know this well.
Just because you are number one doesn't mean you can do number two's job and number three's job. No, you cannot. You can't do the job of the accounts clerk. You cannot do that. You understand that? So the same thing follows as well. You cannot do the job of the finance director. There needs to be a finance director.
Under the proposed changes we brought as a management,
Right.
I'm trying to explain to you that we did not take away no responsibilities from him, in the sense that uh, the license management or officer is the one who has traditional, and even under him has been going to town, you understand, and
No,
issue
Mr.
invoices
Mr.
to business
Mr. Batchilly,
business for them to
who
pay.
is the license manager answerable to?
The license manager is directly answerable to the finance manager.
That's it. That's simple as that. That answers the question.
Yeah.
He
But
works directly under the finance department, answerable directly to the finance director. That is simple.
that indirectly, but directly answerable to the finance manager.
Everybody in the finance department is directly answerable to the finance director.
Yeah, okay. What here?
Everybody in the finance department, no matter your rank, you are directly answerable to the finance director.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying here is the statement that he made in his letter, that there's an illegality in the sense that the license officer or manager
Yes.
is issuing invoices.
Yes.
I don't see an
The
illegality.
license manager cannot issue an invoice without the supervision and control of the finance director.
But if you make reference to what I've shown you,
Yes.
the invoices I've shown you
Yes.
on the 5th of January,
Right.
those invoices were signed by only commander.
Concerned about those invoices, the ones he signed. I am concerned about the ones he did not sign. Are we together?
Yes, there are some invoices that he did not sign.
I am just concerned about the invoices that he himself is querying, not the ones he did not query, the ones he is querying.
Yeah, but we have to look at the substance of the query.
No,
that's what we are trying to do now here.
You don't have the powers to do what you did. Simple. The finance manager does not have the power to work unilaterally and follow your instruction directly as CEO bypassing the finance director. No, unless you can guide us through the finance manual, can you?
No, I think my understanding is still not kind of adequate.
Yes.
But then I want to try my best to make it more feasible
Right.
in terms of understanding.
Right.
What I'm saying here is the signing of invoices.
Right.
If you look at the invoice books,
Yes,
themselves, you see the space on that. It is written the chief executive officer.
Yes.
But I may not be in a position to be signing those invoices. So it has been the responsibility of the director of finance.
By law.
Yeah?
By law.
To be signing.
By law, to control.
To control.
Direct revenue.
So in some other cases, we have seen the license manager would do signatures.
The direction of the finance director.
Okay. But now in this case, we as a management too, like I said, our experiences of the previous year in November and December, if we do not have the direct cooperation of the director of finance in this endeavor, that is what led us to, like as a management sit down. I know what
the finance not do his job. You should know to do. You are very experienced. You have 23 years plus service experience. You should know how to handle a staff that is not following the dictates of the law. Not to break them on you by yourself. To make sure it is done. You know what to do.
But my options in terms of dealing with this matter, apart from the writing, were limited, because what could I have done if I am to take what you're saying, was maybe to write to the finance finance committee, or I write to the minister.
You know what to do. Let's keep it at that.
Okay.
You know what to do. You did not do it, and then what you did was not favorable by law. That is as simple as it is. And then so because you don't have unilateral control over revenue collection, let me ask that you be given the Trade License Act. Do you have a copy with you?
No, I don't have it.
Because it appears what you have collected, for instance, what is being invoiced to AM Textile is way less than what is supposed to be invoiced. You see why it is risky?
can I say and be given the explanation with
Yeah.
regards to the yardstick? That was the time.
Yes. You will have the copy of the license act and then AM text that. Where do they fall?
But this is not the register. Is the trade license is it manual?
Yeah, does it not have the various category of license that you should collect at the price?
Yes.
Yes, that's what I'm referring to.
But I don't have the
Not even the register. I want to know exactly how much a bank should pay. What is the guideline they show to the payment? Is that not the document we have to examine?
yeah.
If you want to know how much a bank should pay or a financial institution should pay, is that not the act?
Yeah, that's
Exactly. So AM textiles, where do they fall?
I'm seeing here become a council.
Can we have it done for Banjo? So look at it. I think this is good.
That particular is, is a textile company, no?
It's what?
It's a textiles company. They import
Yes,
textile.
textiles, yes. You know, when I asked the finance director where they fall, he told the commission the answer straight away.
I will find it out.
Because he's familiar with revenue collection.
I'm also very familiar with this.
But
I've gone on a license collection campaign for 6 months.
so now where does AM Textile fall? Which category?
I'm trying to figure it out. So you don't have anything such as textiles, economic textiles.
Let me help you.
We have sole traders, businesses with values, with goods valued, and
Let me help you, please.
thank you.
This is why I said the finance director has knowledge. That is his job. See, the law makes it that way. This is his job to know the different category of um, how to call it again, different license that they have to pay. So you have the sole proprietor traders, financial institutions, communications, cosmetic and fashion business, construction industry, tradesmen, And what we're talking about right now is general trading companies.
Yeah.
You understand? General trading companies. And so I will turn to that page. So please guide us to the general trading.
General trading companies, you
Yes.
have large scale.
Yes.
That's business goes above 5 million.
Above 5 million.
So above 5 million.
Yes.
You have medium scale.
Above 5 million is how much? How
Above
much should they
5
pay?
they should pay $100,000.
$100,000. Go ahead.
Medium scale between 3.5 to 5 million is 60,000.
60. Okay. The last one.
And then small scale below 3.5,
Below 3.5, they are paying how much?
35,000.
$35,000. Okay. Let me now show you what we have. You pay once in the year, right?
Yeah, they pay once.
What is the amount in the invoices you have issued?
Is it 30,000?
Yes. $30,000.
Yeah.
May I please have it back? That would be lower than the lowest category, correct?
Yeah.
And how do you explain that?
That should not be.
I know, but now how do you explain it? Because it was done without the supervision of the Director of Finance. Forget about things you have done wrong. Anyways, that's all for, unless there are questions, Honorable Chairperson, that's all for Mr. Bachili for part one. Yes, we have Mr. Bachili when we come back for other issues as well. We have so many issues to discuss with Mr. Bachili. He has been very cooperative, Honorable Chair. If there are questions for Mr. Bachili.
Thank you, Mr. Batchilly, for coming.
Thank you, ma'am.
We will let you know when we'll come back.
Thank you very
And
much.
please endeavor to bring the documents.
I'll start for it.
Yes, we've got you the order, and the registrar will give you the order so that you can have access
Okay.
to the finance department to get the documents
Thank you.
that we have asked you to bring for us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, Madam Witness.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to this Commission of Inquiry into Local Government Councils and related matters. Madam Witness, which language do you wish to make your testimony?
I prefer to speak in Wolof.
You want to speak in Wolof? Okay. What is your religion?
Muslim.
Do you wish to swear by the Holy Quran or make an affirmation? Madam Chair, the witness wishes to swear by the Holy Quran. Hold the Holy Quran and then repeat after me. I, Rohey Lowe, do swear that I'll speak the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Allah.
Thank you. You may be kindly seated. Madam Chair, the witness is sworn. I have the honor to have our witness too for us to proceed.
Yes, Council.
Yes, the microphone was not on. I was trying to signal the secretary to have Mr. Bojan, the interpreter, to interpret it in Wolof.
Mr. Secretary, can you please take the oath again? Yes, please. Thank you.
Madam Witness, can we take that again since you opted to give your evidence in Wolof? Can we do this swearing in Wolof, please?
Okay.
You, when I, whatever I say in English, you wait for the interpreter, then you repeat after the interpreter. Okay. In which language do you wish to make your testimony?
I prefer to make it.
No, you wait for the interpreter now.
I to speaking on
What is your religion? Do you wish to swear by the Holy Quran or make an affirmation?
I prefer to go to Quran and take one.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The witness wishes to swear by the Holy Quran. Hold the Holy Quran and then wait for the interpreter. I,
Waleman,
Rohey Marlick Lowe, do swear that I'll speak the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Thank you. You may be kindly seated. Madam Chair, the witness is sworn. I have the honor to hand over the witness to you for us to proceed.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mayor, Honorable Mayor of Banjul, Rohey Marlick Lowe.
Good afternoon, Chairperson.
And thank you for your patience. I was made to understand that you were here since in the morning. You are welcome to the commission.
Welcome to commission.
Council Women, please.
Yes. Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. Now, please, we allow the interpreter to interpret. Very well. Please convey the message to the witness. Which message? Now we are going to allow you to interpret. Very well. You have to interpret that to the witness. Very well. Then the purpose of that is it will be recorded. So that your evidence and our questions are being recorded. If you need to explain any point that I may not ask you, you may seek permission from the commission as the chairperson. All right. Very well. Now, please tell the commission what your full name is.
Rohey Marlick Lowe.
My names are Rohey Marlick Lowe.
Please kindly speak into the microphone. Rohey Marlick Lowe.
Rohey Marlick Lowe are my names.
What is your address?
Kotu.
You are the mayoress of Banjul City Council.
Wow. That's correct.
Is it correct to say from 2018?
2018.
Wow.
Yes.
Now, what is your educational background? From Kampama Primary School, Madam St. Joseph Primary School.
From Kampama Primary School, I proceeded to St. Joseph Primary School.
Then Madam St. Joseph High School.
Then from there, I proceeded to St. Joseph High School.
Madam College in Sweden.
I went to Sweden in college, a college in Sweden.
College in the new shopping campus.
A college called New Shopping Campus.
ma jógee for them at the University of Falun.
From there, I forwarded to University of Falun.
Foofu laa doon study international relations.
There, I studied the international relations.
Is that a degree program or a diploma?
Then
It's a diploma program.
It's a diploma program.
Please, which year was
ma
this?
jógee 2016 laa jeexal.
This was in 2016. That's the time I graduated.
ma jógee foofu dem University of Harvard.
From there, I proceeded to the University of Harvard.
Foofu tam ma am for 1 year on a leadership program.
There, I do 1 year on the leadership program.
Is that also a degree program, a master's program, or a certificate program?
It's a diploma program.
A diploma program.
Please proceed. Is that all?
Waaw.
Yeah.
Thank you. We have a statement
Then I'm not statement.
that was obtained from you by the investigators of the commission.
We have the statement that I investigate to see your self.
It bears your name and your signature.
Then I said to access signature with your
Please go through the statement.
Then I legi lu war moy nga set ko.
It has six pages
Then I'm not juróom benn kayit.
and a signature against your name.
Te am na tamit signé bi nga xam ne nekk na setu fu setu nekk.
We will want you to tell us whether that is your statement.
Dina léegi li ñu bëgg mooy pour nga leeral ñu daa sa boobu mooy sa statement bi wala teen.
Moom la.
Yes, it is the very statement.
We apply to general the statement of the witness, Rohey Lowe. The date is 5th of March 2025 into evidence as an exhibit.
This statement dated the 5th of March 2025 is hereby admitted in evidence as an exhibit and it is marked as FGC/BCC/RL/001.
As the commission places. Now, in 2018,
Then I had 2018,
when you came in as mayoress of Banjul,
being nga ñu dooree nekk mayoress Banjul.
how many councillors
Then ñaata councillors
do you have in the general council?
nga am si general council.
maa ngi am fukki council ak ñett 13.
I had 13 councillors.
9 elected. 9 being elected ak ñett yu nominate.
9 elected.
Nominate.
9 of them were elected and the 4 were nominated.
Now, who were the nominated councillors?
Nee na ñeneen yi nga xam ne nañ leen nominate mooy kan ak kan.
mooy nim si yàlla Anseka.
The late Anseka.
ak Fintong Njie.
Fintong Njie.
Ablaye Coulibaly.
Ablaye Coulibaly.
You said 3.
4 la.
4.
La fàtte.
I forgot the last person.
Okay, please, we will need the information subsequently at some point.
Nee na tamit soo fàttali ko bëgg nañu turam.
Now, the first one, is it Anseka you said?
Nee na ku njëkk gi nga nu mu tudd jëm ci yàlla.
Anseka.
Anseka.
And which class of the society was she representing?
Nee na moom ñan la nekkoon di represent foofu.
Social.
Social what?
Nee na social la.
Moom responsabilité mooy comme pour dox yi fi social daal loo xam ne anything to do with social mooy one responsibility.
For her responsibility was that to see to it that anything connected to the social, that is her own responsibility.
And the second one again is the name?
Nee na ñaareel bi kale tur yi.
Fintong Njie mooy women rep.
Fintong Njie is the women rep.
The third one?
ñetteel bi.
Ablaye Coulibaly mooy woon the youth rep.
Ablaye Coulibaly was the youth rep.
And Basiru Ndaw mooy woon the business rep.
And Basiru Ndaw, business rep.
Now, how were they nominated?
Nee na ñoom seen nomination bi wala naka lañ leen nominaté.
Man maa leen nominate.
I nominated them.
And what is the please proceed?
I nominated them.
Ablaye Coulibaly ñi ñoo ko indi youth si.
Ablaye Coulibaly was brought before me by the youths.
Which youths?
Nee na ay ñan youths ya.
ñu ko fa teg ba léegi Banjul youth si.
The Banjul youths.
How did they nominate him?
Nee na naka lañ ko nominator.
Gars yi dañ binda.
They wrote.
Do you have a copy of that that letter?
Nena munda binda bobu wala letter bobu am nga copy am.
I'm sure they didn't have a office.
I'm sure it must be at the office.
Please, we will give you a paper and a pen. We will want you to write it down. We want you to produce the letter.
Nena legi lu war moy comme li nga nekk def nga jël pen ak kayit lépp li nga xam ne wax nañ la ko wala dañ la ko laajte pour nga histoire nga dal di ko bind pour nga bañ a fàtte.
And the women's rep, how was she nominated?
Nena women's rep moom naka lañ ko taanoon.
Women rep I cannot remember naka lañ ko nominated what.
For the women rep, very unfortunate. I can't be able to remember exactly how she was nominated.
Why is one of office we must say I guess
But if I get back to office, if I check, I will know exactly how she was nominated.
How about the youth rep?
Yep.
The same thing.
You cannot remember.
Then I'm not fat.
You know what office?
If I get back to the office, I'll remember.
Now, when they were nominated, let's assume, for instance, the case of the social rep, and you received a letter. Now, what did you do when you received the letter?
Nena legi nañ door comme ñu door si ku njëkk ki nena buñ ko bindee ñu saaf la letter bi bi nga jotee letter bi loo defoon.
When you contact ko.
I contacted her.
And wax ko na ko nominate naa ko si council.
And I told her that she was nominated.
Then
please proceed.
Maybe that's the ministry.
Then I wrote to the ministry.
Please increase your voice.
Very well. I wrote to the
ministry. As nominated councillors.
I wrote to the ministry informing them that these are the very nominees that they nominated to come to council. Then they replied by saying that yeah, it's fine. We agree to it.
Inform them, ministry and the nomination.
I then informed them again that the ministry have accepted your nomination. Then they came, they have taken oath. That is how they joined the council.
Now we have correspondences from the ministry between you and the ministry.
Then corresponded to ministry
I'm not only admin because admin
I
know that will be within the admin because they used to write.
Okay, we will want you to as well produce that for the commission.
Commission. Binda ko bala nga bañ a fàtte.
A4 size papers, A4 size. Okay.
A letter from the ministry accepted their nomination.
Yes, the letter from the
ministry.
Yes, and also the ones that you wrote.
The correspondence between yourself, the one you wrote, and those that the minister wrote.
Yes, Council.
Yes, thank you very much. In 2021 as well, how many nominated members did you have?
Then I have 2021. Nyata nominated members now.
4 nominated and the same procedure.
4 nominated members and it applies the same procedure.
Okay, for 2018 and 2021, we will need the same request for the documentations in relation to the nomination.
Nena legi joge ko 2018 nomination mi ngamne hewna kayit yoy dañ ko soxla ak 2021 yi ngamne yoy tamit bokk na ci nomination bi yépp dañ ko soxla.
Now, the sittings of councils, how often does council sit as a general body?
Nena legi council bi sen togay bi wala sen sitting bi ñaata yoon lañ dé tok as a general body?
Once a month, until an emergency.
Once a month, unless there is an emergency.
Do you keep minutes of these meetings?
Nena meeting you ngeen xamne togay ngeen dé def da minutes yi da ngeen ko lay amé.
foog naa loolu clerk bi mooy the custodian of those minutes. Foog naa dina ko war a denc.
I think the clerk, because due to the fact that he is the custodian of, or he is the clerk of the meeting, he might have them.
How many committees of council do you have?
Nee na ñaata committee ngeen am ci ak council?
I think foog naa juróom.
I think about 5.
Can you tell us the committees, council?
Nee na ndaa mën nga ñu wax ñaata committee wala ñan ñooy committee bi ci council?
Committee bi amee wàllu koppar yi.
The committee responsible for finance.
Committee bi amee wàllu liggéey yi.
And the committee responsible for employment.
Committee bi amee wàllu jël ndax bi jël liggéeykat yi.
And the committee responsible for employment of the youth.
Jël liggéeykat.
Just to employ people.
Establishment, finance, development and planning, youth and sports.
Youth and sports.
Yeah. Okay. Why the party? I'm not been.
There is another committee of which I do not remember.
Now, how are members of this committee appointed?
Nena legi domi committee yooyu noonu ndax lañ dee tànn.
Moom si council.
By
council. Si general council.
By general council.
Now you have standing orders.
Nena am ngeen foofu lu ñuy standing orders.
ñu ngi si kawam di ko toppatoo.
Yeah, we are preparing it.
In 2018, there were no standing orders.
Nena kon hatim 2018 loolu boobu jamono boobu amuleen woon ñooy wax standing orders.
Déedéet.
No.
When did you start working on the standing orders?
Nena kañ ngeen door di liggéey wala di defar comme ni ko waxee standing orders.
For now, before last council boobu end or the starting of this council?
I think this was before the end of last council or the beginning of this council.
How did you start working on the standing orders?
Nena naka lañ dooree di liggéey standing orders boobu.
Suñu lawyer.
Through our lawyers for council.
Who is council's lawyer?
Nena council kan mooy seen lawyer.
Saasum Silla.
Saasum Silla.
He is the one working on this. She is the one working on the standing orders.
Nena kon dafa mel ni moo nekk di defar standing orders bi.
Momo administration bi ak deputy mayor bi nga xam ne maa ko assign pour mu liggéey ak ñoom.
Herself, the admin, and the deputy mayor, which I instructed to go ahead with them.
Was the council lawyer related to in relation to council's decisions to work on standing orders?
Then hana council da ngeen ko bindoon pour mu ñëw wala muy def mu bokk si ñoo xam ne ñooy liggéey ñooy defar standing orders.
Dañ bindoon kan?
Lawyer.
Wow.
Yes.
Who wrote to the lawyer?
Nee na kan CN moo bind lawyer bi.
I'm not CEO bi la de.
I think it's the CEO.
Were you copied?
Nee na ndaa yow da nga amoon letter boobu copy.
Fàtte naa why it's possible.
I forgot, but I think yes, it's possible.
Will the CEO be Mustapha Batchilly?
Nee na soo ne CEO mooy kan Mustapha Batchilly.
Mun naa nekk Mustapha Batchilly mun naa nekk ki fa nekk comme li ma la wax ne. Munuma remember exactly kañ la woon. Mun naa nekk mu nekk end of our last time or mu nekk beginning bi. So
Yes.
any of them.
I cannot remember exactly. It might be Mustapha Batchilly or the CEO present right now. As I said earlier on, I cannot remember exactly the time this was done. Might be by the end of the term or by the beginning of the new term.
Will you be able to provide us with the letter?
Ne namba letter go no mun nga ko isiwane.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, council.
Was the need for a standing order discussed at the General Council, or was it as per your instructions as the mayors?
Ne na mbiri standing orders bi yaw sa bopa ya ko halat wala ko discuss wala dengan ko discuss ini council fo.
council lañ ko discuss even though I wasn't there, but I supported it.
It was discussed at the level of council while I was absent, but I supported it.
And a resolution was passed to that effect.
Nena ci kaw loolu ngeen dal di amee resolution foofu.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Please provide us with the resolution.
Nena bëgg nañ ak resolution pour nga isi ñu.
When you came in 2018, was there a strategic plan that you formulated? A strategic plan.
Nena bi nga ñëwee 2018 nena dafa amoon strategy plan bi nga xam ne dañ ko formulé.
Waaw fàttaliku naa ne defaroon na strategic plan mu foofu.
Yes, I can remember that there was a strategic plan.
Was there an operational plan?
Nena am ngeen operational plan.
Operational plan from naka.
I want to be guided. What is an operation?
So when you have a strategic plan, then you have an operational plan as to how to achieve the strategic objectives of the institute.
Nena so am a strategic plan, if they am operation plan, mi nga xam ne boobu moo war a
toppatoo. Okay, wow.
Yes.
Dina war a ànd ak
Yes.
strategic plan bi.
Yes.
Strategic plan bi, of course, foog mu mun a xam the way forward, the vision.
Yes. That is a fact because the strategy plan must have supporting thing that is the operation plan. Yes.
Yes. For how many years was the strategic plan?
Then ñaata at la woon strategic plan bi ñaata at la woon.
Mënuma remember exactly the way foog naa su nekkul 5 years dina nekk 4 years waaye mënuma xam exactly.
I can't remember exactly, but I think 5 years or 4 years.
You will need information about the strategic plan as well, all the documentation in relation to the strategic plan.
Then the strategic plan bi tamit nii dañ ko soxla boobu tamit soo koy issuale nga dal di ko issuale ak kayit yi nga xam ne yooyu moo ko support.
Comme yan kay yu ko support.
What type of document supported documents?
The strategic plan and the operational plan.
That is the operational plan, or strategic plan, operational plan.
Dina ko laaj CEO Batchilly.
I will try to ask the CEO Batchilly.
Because strategic plan it should be in the custody of the custodian. The CEO should be the custodian.
Because the strategic plan must be within the custodian of the CEO.
Did you say action plan?
Yeah, action plan or operational plan.
Operation plan.
Yes.
Action plan.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Now, what in relation to the effective functioning of the institution, the Banjul City Council?
Nena léegi nga xam mooy lan mooy effective fonctionnel bi nga xam ne council am na ko si BCC mooy Banjul.
What are the relevant legislation?
Nena lan mooy relevant legislation
that you rely on?
Bi nga xam ne loi boobu bi nga xam ne boobu ngeen bantu ak wala rely
in the effective management of the institution.
Pour nga gis ne ni ngeen mën a doxalee mbir mi mu xalaat nekk loo xam ne lu war a mooy effective.
Li ma fa fekk Brianna mooy ne dinañ use of course our tools you mean ndax du.
Yes.
When the tools you mean yes.
Basically man on the governance side we rely on the local government act.
For me personally, on the governance side, we rely on the local government act.
A good practice is not
and the good practice that the mayors who were there was following, or that was the one they were using.
And what were these good practices?
Then so the good practices more than there are many.
Please name a few.
Well, part of the more donation yi nga xam ne comme for exemple dañ ko dee jox si julit ñi jox ko Christian si di ko jox sport committee C, etc., etc. Rule for Fulakofeka.
Part of it is just like the donation we used to give outside to the Muslims, Christians, and yeah.
Even though we do it with the budget line,
And we do it, but we do have a budget line for that.
like scholarships, for example.
And for instance, the scholarships.
And the second one?
Nena ñaareel bi,
Ñetta la wadi.
No, I mean the good practices. You've mentioned scholarships and donations. Now, the second good practice that you may think of.
Ñetta la when scholarships, for example.
I said 3 of them. I said scholarship, for instance.
Helping nawetani.
The Navitas.
Help see religion.
And the religion, that is the Christians and the Muslims.
Okay. So there will be a budget line for this.
Then I can't get budget silly.
Wow.
Yes.
Are you familiar with any other legislation or any other act or law that also binds the area, the city council?
Nena tamit na am nga luwa yoo xam ne tamit xam nga leen yu nga xam ne tamit bokk na si mbiri area council.
Well, am na yeneen act yoo xam ne ñu fa yoo xam ne man concentrate too much because you deals mostly with administration, come the Finance and Audit Act.
Yes, we do have some acts there of which, but definitely I don't concentrate much on them because they are just for the finance and the administration.
And audit.
And audit.
How about the financial manual?
Then the financial manual. Financial manual.
Good.
Can I hear you?
By your answer, is it that you in your understanding that the financial manual and the Financial Audit Act 2004 is just in relation to the core administrative part, that is the CEO and now?
Then I consider the administration, the financial manual, and the
Financial Audit Act
and the financial audit. Yooyu nekk naa yoo xam ne bu ñu ko jënaa soxla mooy nekk na CEO ak ñoom administration wala finance.
Dide ñun sa soxla nañ ko waaye foog naa ñoom ñoo ñu ko gën a soxla laa bi.
Yeah, no, we ourselves we need them, but I know they need them more than we do.
Can you explain that why you think that they need it more than the general body?
Nee na léegi kon foofu mën nga ñu lu leeral la tax nga wax ne ñooñu ñoo ko gën a soxla si yéen seen boppa.
Because so the Finance and Audit Act dafa mel ni ñoom mostly ñu dee def ak xaalis bi la.
Because when you say Finance and Audit Act, they are normally their workers very near to finance or money.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, is that all?
Then I learned it.
Waaw comme lu ma wax man nekkuma master si loolu.
Yes, as I said, I'm not a master to that.
Now,
su ma soxlee pour code loolu dama dee laaj administrateur si ñoom.
If I need them to code something, I do go there and ask for them to give me one so that I can go ahead with it.
Now, who gives authority for expenditure in council? Who has the power to give authority for expenditure in council?
Then a lady in council can more am for part who muna johe card wala tigal piri depends wala expenditure.
CEO.
CEO.
Just the CEO?
Then a CEO rek.
Not CEO. Man CEO waaw.
Then a ndamo rek.
Wow.
Yes.
Accounting officer.
He's the accountant officer.
Does the mayors have powers to give authority for expenditure?
Nena mayores da mom tamit amna part wala amna dole pour joxe card wala tigal pour ñu mëna def dépense.
Address.
Yes.
No, that's not yes. The witness said munna. Yes.
How?
Déedéet man mun naa advice.
Advice.
Oh, I can advise. Very well.
Yeah, so let's get exactly what the witness said.
Yes, I can be able to advise.
Only advice, but you cannot give authority for expenditure?
Then advice rek waaye amuloo digal wala amuloo doole pour joxe digal pour ñu def dépense.
Advice rek laa mun a def lii gis naa lii mun naa njëriñ Banjul ma ne leen lii laa bëgg ngeen def so ñoom ñu implement.
I only have the obligation to advise. If I see something, then I can advise them to say, do this. Then they are there to implement.
Should the CEO in some circumstances take permission from you or approval from you in relation to expenditure?
nena CEO na dafa am jamano wala dafa war pour nga gis ne mu am permission si yow wala mu def benn dépense.
Waaw foog naa war na maa mun a yëgal tam.
Yes, I think he can be able to let me know.
Yeah, but that will be just to inform you.
Nena waaye loolu pour yëgal la ko.
Would he have the obligation to just request for your approval?
Nena waaye lu ma laajte mooy pour mu am obligation bi nga am ne foog mu ñëw nga jox ko digal nga ne ko waaw lii defal bul def.
Lii ka su ñëwee ne ma su ñëwee si ma jox ko ndigal tam.
When he came to me and I give him advice,
Moo ko ne ko bul ko def te moom mooy accounting officer bi mënu ma ci dara.
and if I tell him no, don't do it, and he's the accountant officer, that does not mean.
Su ma ko ne ko def ko tam te bëggu koo def mënu ma ci dara.
And if I tell him do it and he don't want to do it, I have no other option.
That will not be in line with what the law says.
Nena waaye loolu du àndal loo xam ne lu nekk na loo xam ne du àndal loo xam du waa loolu la ba.
I think you have some powers
Nena foog na ne yow tamit am nga doole.
given to you by law,
Nena bi nga xam ne loi bi moo la ko jox.
because the CEO is answerable to council, in effect, to you.
Nena because xam naa ne CEO moom si council la moo uyu te soo ne council rek moo yem.
What I mean by that is the mayor or the chairperson or the mayors, as the case may be, represents council because they have an office in the administrative structure.
Nena te soo gisee mu wàll ko nena soo gisee council nena nekk yow mayor bi nekk naa ko xam ne yow de yaa de represent council si council of general office.
So you have powers.
Nena ak doole.
Lii council. With all honesty.
With all honesty,
Man fooguma ne mayors in the Gambia am nañ doole.
I don't think the mayors in the Gambia here they have powers.
Waaye by the time ma tender li ma amee fii.
At the time, anytime I tender what I'm having here,
Xëy na loolu dinañu mun a dimbali ñun ñëpp.
then I think that will help us all.
Te su fekkee ne mun nga ma may 1 or 2 minutes rek ma waxtaan.
I'm praying if I am granted 1 or 2 minutes, then I will elaborate something.
On this point, yes.
Yes, then I will answer that.
Because su fekkee ne ni nga ko waxee yow.
Now, as far as the way you said it,
Mayor mënuta discipline kenn.
the mayor cannot discipline anybody.
Mayor mënuta promote kenn.
Mayor cannot promote anybody.
Mayor mënuta demote kenn.
Mayor cannot demote anybody.
Mayor mënuta jël kenn liggéey.
Mayor cannot employ anybody.
Kon ana doole mayor bi.
So where's the powers?
Mayor mënuta spend dara.
Mayor won't spend.
Mënuta spend dara.
Mayor cannot be able to spend anything.
So ana doole mayor bi.
Where are the powers?
And I have evidences on the table here.
And here I have evidences with me.
Where Minister Visible Mam dañ laa binda di la wax ne anything to do with discipline key or even binda leen sax dañ laa wax ne bu ñu binda the permanent secretary laa binda ne la bul ma binda so buggee waxa man waxal
they're right to me to say anything you want to do, don't do it directly to us or don't even write to us. You have people beside you or under you who you can be right to.
All right. So we'll come back to the issue for authority for expenditure.
Then léegi amul lu ñoy def mooy dañoo delloo si biiri doole pour affaire dépense.
So we will perhaps discuss your the points you have raised.
Nee na ci kaw loolu dañ waxtaan si point yi nga xam ne yooyu nga raise léegi fii.
After which we will come back to the authority for expenditure.
Nee na ci kaw loolu dañ delloo si authority of expenditure.
We can see your correspondence you are referring to.
Nee na mun na gis kayit yi nga xam ne yooyu nga nekk di wax bi daw.
Council, I believe that it is 4 o'clock.
Very
Convenient when to stop. Honorable Mayor.
Nee na yow Mayor.
So we will let you know when you will come back. Yes, it was already 4, and we will give you all the time to present the documents and to explain in details all that you want to.
Nee na bu soobee yàlla danga ñu am jamono bi nga xam ne dangaa ñëwaat te dangaa gis lépp li nga xam ne am nga ko pour leeral nga dal di ko leeral. Nee na jërëjëf sa ñëwaay bi dégg nga.
Thank you.
Please just hold your documents.
Nee na li ngay def mooy kayit yi nga téye ko nga amee ko dégg nga.
So that when you are notified of your peers,
nee na soo ñëwaatee.
you can rely on them.
Dangaa gis ne kayit yooyu si kaw nga doon di dugal nga rely on them. Sukkandiku si ñoom. Thank you.
Baax na jërëjëf.
Primarize.